Hi, this is Bob, and today's 10-minute tour is going to be on Report Manager. Report Manager is a handy little function that's found in almost every module. I'll show you how it works in Accounts Payable, but it's under the Reports section. It's usually the very first one listed. There it is in AR. I don't think Additional Tools has it because there are really no reports there that you create, but pretty much all of major modules do have it. So in Accounts Payable, we'll go in and we'll open up Reports Manager. And what it does is it controls how this list looks. And so you can see in here, I've got test reports, invoice registers, end of month reports, cash management reports, GL, miscellaneous, and so on. When you buy the software, it doesn't come with all those. I've got some for specific individuals in the company. And then this one was for some stupid stuff we had to do, so I just called it Goofus Reports and listed them under there. Anyway, into Reports Manager. It's a fairly easy program to use. You can add new reports here. I'll jump in there just quickly. So you give it a name. You come down here. So I'll just call it, who cares? I'm going to come down here and I'm going to list. And it gives all those groupings that we have. So you can put it in any of those. Or you can type in a new one. So we'll just call this sample. And then you got to give it a file name. And so the file name is where that report is. You can put in several different kinds of reports here. Most of what I've done has been Timberline reports, Timberline Designer. You can use SQL, which I don't know how to use. And you can give it a special name, which I don't know what that means. So I'm not going to bother with those. I think here this options lets you give it a shortcut key and what's showing on the toolbar. Alright, so I'm just going to pop in here. I'll do a list. We'll go into these and I'll just pick this one. I don't care. So that's how you add a report. And you'll say OK. And now you'll see if I close it, synchronizes. And when it's done synchronizing, it'll close. And it's taken a while to synchronize, apparently. There we go. And so in here now, you've got sample, and in sample, we've got that report. Back into Report Manager. To delete one, you do similar. You just come down to it. Click on it. You can either change it or delete it. I'm going to delete this one since I don't really need it there. And it doesn't delete the actual report. It just deletes the mapping to it in your reports section of the Accounts Payable module. So the other thing I like to do is to put stuff in some kind of order, because it gets awful hard to find things if they're not kind of grouped together. So I'm going to do this one here, which is an end of month report that I added, and it's not in with all the other end of month reports. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to move it down. And eventually here I'll come to end of month reports. And then I try and put them alphabetically by the name, so that one will go up one. I'll say OK. And again, if I go out and close, now you'll see that that is alphabetically before the other one. I think it probably was anyway because it was before it in this list. But I try and get them so they're all grouped together as best I can. Now the other thing you can do is, like say here, I've got this Brandy's report, Cobra Do, if I want that same report to be under a second person, I can go in under New, give it that same name, and put it in a second group. I'm pretty sure. And then the last thing you can do is print. I'll send a print preview, and that's going to show a list of all those mapped reports here, including the paths to the names and so on, that make it a lot easier to find and fix stuff in the future if you have to. One thing I would try and do over time is maybe create a book for your company that contains all this important data like this, that you could put in there, and if you've ever got a question of why something's coming up, you've got a written record of where it is and so on. If at some point somebody goes in and accidentally deletes the path to one, it helps to know these names. Okay, so back into this. So along with this list, this only exists in the module you're in. So you can't go into this list and put in, reports for general ledger. You can only put in reports for accounts payable in this one. So each module has its own set of reports, and by organizing them, it really helps when you go to try and find stuff in the future. Well, I hate to do this, but this is a really quick lesson, so even though I say it's a 10-minute tour, today it's going to be a 7-minute and 5-second tour. Goodbye.